Well, hello everybody, my name is Mr. Fox and Socks, and welcome back to another Minecraft update. And today is going to be a very small update because the snapshot released is extremely small, and that's a result of a lot of the Mojang people actually taking a break for Easter and just coming back here recently. But that doesn't mean we don't have great features added to this snapshot, which is Snapshot 21w14a. And one of the newest and biggest features in this is the fact that the new ore that was added to the 1.17 snapshot updates has a brand new feature. Typically, when you find these particular ore in game and we hit them, we get different ore blocks like these here, and then we come over here and where did I put them? There it is, over here. And then we come over here into the smelter and we put these particular things into a smelter and we get the actual ingot that comes from the iron ore that we collected out in the wild, right? Right, see, right there, we have the ingot, right? Not anymore. Things are actually going to be a little bit different, and that is when we use a fortune pickaxe, we can now hit these items and get what's called a raw material. Now that might be why in the snapshot, right here actually, Mojang says that Gordon Ramsay would be furious with this update because although this snapshot has been served, it's somewhat raw. raw iron, raw material. Do you get it, guys? Do you get it? Okay, that was bad. But anyways, I think that's a great feature because this will prevent cluttering and everything of our inventory and allow us to have consistency with fortune ores. So now when we have all of the fortunes and everything else, they come down into these raw materials. So instead of just having a 1-for-1, like over here, for every 1 iron or copper that we put in, we get 1 ingot out. That is no longer the case. Now, if we have these, like for example, let's go ahead and get rid of all this real fast. So let's say we do 2. Okay, now let's come in here and let's hit it with the fortune. Okay, so that was only 2 iron ore. That gives us 6 raw materials. Now, let me ask you, how many ingots are we going to get from this raw iron? That's right, we get 1 ingot per raw iron piece. So when we have 2 with this is actually a fortune 3. With a fortune 3, we got 6 raw pieces from the 2 ore. We can now have more consistency and get more materials, which I think is a feature that is just, it should have happened a long time ago. Why it's taken this long is beyond me, but I do think it's a great feature and it's a great addition to this update. Another really cool and amazing feature actually comes from the oxidized copper. So now with the oxidized copper, we can put a honeycomb on top of it, and this now becomes a waxed oxidized copper. And you may be asking what this waxed oxidized copper is good for. Well, really, it seems like this is going to be just an amazing addition to the building blocks and the abilities for everything to, for you to beautify basically your world. So if we come in here and we go ahead and start oxidizing by, let's say, hitting it with lightning bolts, of course, you see the copper changing over and changing. However, at any point we can hit these particular levels with the honeycomb, and now no matter how many times it gets hit, you notice those particular blocks that I just hit, they will not become oxidized. That's pretty neat. Now another thing that you could do is come over here to the pieces and you can right click on them, and what that did was actually, if you notice down the bottom right of the screen, you see where it says wax off. So we just waxed on by putting it on. Wax on, wax off. And then you can continue to, of course, oxidize by just right clicking on these particular things, and that's how that is done right there. So I think that's a really cool thing to do, and pretty amazing new feature that is added. Another thing to note is that with the stone cutter, when we come over to it, when we have oxidized copper, you see that we do get the oxidized cut copper, we get the copper slabs and the copper stairs. But what happens with the waxed oxidized copper? Well, you've got it right, folks. You actually now have waxed oxidized cut copper, waxed oxidized cut copper slabs, and waxed oxidized cut copper stairs. Good golly, try to say that 10 times fast. Good gracious. The next part of this snapshot is these blocks right here, these Tuff Blocks. So what they've done is they've added Tuff Blocks to now be found in between heights of 0 and 16. And I think what that is really meant to do is to help with the transition between the old world stone, the Tuff Blocks here, and then the deep slate that is down here. So it is to really bring it together and help with the transition as it comes down into the new under 0, under bedrock as we know it now, the lower world height. So that's another humongous feature that has been added into this. Now, I know I said that this was going to be a very small snapshot and update, and I wasn't kidding with you. That's pretty much everything new that has come from this particular snapshot. However, they did also do a couple bug fixes, like the fishing rod texture that always looks like it's been cast when it's in the player's hand, the crash upon attempting to generate a world height of 0 blocks, and other various different things. The end dimension generates differently than it did previously. So there have been a couple of bug fixes, and all those are going to be right down there underneath this dirt in the comment or in the description of this video. So make sure you check those out down there, and make sure you also hit that like button, you smack that subscribe button, you ring that bell, and you come back next week, because I'm sure that's going to be a much larger snapshot, and we'll get a little bit more insight on what exactly the 1.17 update is going to bring to us Minecrafters. So until then, I love you guys, and stay foxy. Bye.